A happy Independence Day, everyone. Nigeria celebrates 60 years as an independent nation. Low-key, but amidst colorful display in the nation's capital, Abuja. President Buhari pays tribute to Nigeria's founding fathers as he calls on citizens to unite in tackling the challenges facing the nation. Speakers at the 25th edition of the platform bear their minds on the nation's journey since 1960 as they list ways to maximizing the country's potential. And a group of leading scientists warn that effective coronavirus vaccine will not return life to normal in early 2021. Plus business, sports, and later from our studios in London.
On Business News tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari explains rationale for increase in the price of petrol, asks Nigerians to prepare for further adjustment in the wake of current global realities.
On Sports News tonight, Bayern Munich forward Robert Lewandowski wins UEFA Men's Player of the Year award following a superb season with the Bavarians.
Nigeria today marked its Diamond Jubilee, 60 years after gaining independence from Great Britain. This year's celebration comes with a difference owing to the global COVID-19 pandemic, which has disrupted all crowd-pulling activities. It marks a clear departure from the practice in some of the previous years when the event has been marked with pomp and ceremony, even if low-key. That notwithstanding, the federal government still lined up some activities to mark the Diamond Jubilee celebration and to make it worthwhile. The day started with the president's nationwide broadcast on the state of the nation and a reflection on the country's journey so far in the last 60 years. A key highlight of the President's Independence Day broadcast is the need for a prosperous, secure, and dynamic country in all spheres, especially in the face of daunting challenges and scarce resources. In the 22-minute broadcast, President Muhammadu Buhari describes this as top priority for both the government and citizens to attain. President Buhari speaks on his beliefs and expectations in areas of social cohesion, reviving the economy, and improving the political situation in the country.
2020 sees Nigeria commemorating its Diamond Jubilee, October the 1st, 60 years after it gained independence from Great Britain. Although there was a military parade in the nation's capital to mark the event, this year's celebration comes with a difference. No thanks to the raging global COVID-19 pandemic.
Today,
the day begins with President Muhammadu Buhari's nationwide broadcast on the state of the nation and Nigeria's journey so far. He speaks of the efforts of the country's founding fathers, the current challenges, and what he believes must be done to solve them.
Today, we grapple with multiple challenges, with a population exceeding 200 million, occupying the same landmass, but 52% residing in urban areas. To achieve this, we must focus our minds together as a people on ways of resolving the identified critical challenges that underlie our present state. These include A, evolving and sustaining a democratic culture that leaves power in the hands of the people. B, supporting the enthronement of the rule of law, demanding accountability of elected representatives and contributing to good governance. C, increasing our commitment to peaceful coexistence in a peaceful, secure, and united Nigeria. D, harnessing and optimizing our tremendous human and natural resources to attain our goal of being in the top 20 economies of the world, and in the process, E, lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. F, strengthening institutions to make them stronger in protecting national interests. And G, imbibing tolerance in diversity.
In spite of Nigeria's position as the largest economy in Africa, the president still believes its dwindling fortunes can be revived, especially at a time the world is battling the COVID-19 pandemic. He insists now is the time for the process of national healing to begin.
I am aware that our economy, along with every single economy in the world, is in crisis. We still face security challenges in parts of the country, while our society suffers from high loss of moral rectitude, which is driven by unbridled craving for political control. We need to begin a sincere process of national healing, and this anniversary presents a genuine opportunity to eliminate old and outworn perceptions that are always put to test in the lie they always are. To start this healing process, we are already blessed with the most important asset any nation requires for such, our people. And this has manifested globally in the exploits of Nigerians in many fields.
The current political climate in Nigeria, according to the president, is evolving, and the conduct of transparent, free, fair and credible elections remains key in Nigeria's democratic experience.
The recent build-up and eventual outcome of the Edo State election should encourage Nigerians that it is my commitment to bequeath to this country processes and procedures that would guarantee that the people's votes count. The problems with our electoral process is mainly human-induced, as desperate desire for power leads to desperate attempts to gain power and office.
The journey to nationhood has had its fair share of successes and failures in the last 60 years. Notwithstanding, it behoves on citizens and the government to work for the survival and progress of Nigeria that will stand the test of time for future generations.
Meanwhile, the Independence Day celebrations today were marked with colorful cultural displays and military parades at the Eagle Square in Abuja, with a number of government officials wearing face masks in compliance with COVID-19 guidelines. And amid tight security, President Buhari inspected the guards from his parade vehicle. He signed the anniversary register and participated in the firing of 21 artillery volleys, signifying the national salute. Our State House correspondent, Kayla Megwa, tells us more.
This is the second time Independence Day is celebrated at the Eagle Square in Abuja after the bombing of 2010, and it's the first time it's been marked at this scale. This time, all government officials invited are present.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
As is tradition, President Muhammadu Buhari inspects the parade in motorcade.
Distinguished invited guests, senior officers, ladies and gentlemen.
There are slow and quick marches by the military, police and the paramilitary.
Your professionally trained men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Nigerian Police on parade celebrating this historic occasion.
It is followed by the guard of the Federal Fire Service.
Building in the capital of the United Kingdom, we are mounted daily on the parade ground.
Celebrations include a rich blend of cultural and contemporary performances in the civilian display.
And restore peace in our great nation.
As done at events of such importance, the Nigerian Air Force got to showcase their prowess.
National colors, wishing Nigeria a happy celebration.
Then it was time to sign the anniversary register, and all attendees gave 3 happy cheers for Nigeria's Diamond Jubilee.
Anniversary is themed together. A single word: we are happier. A nation of happy people. At one time, the elder statesman, presidential force, emeritus, His Excellency the Vice President, First Lady.
It was not the grand event Nigeria is used to, but it was a celebration nonetheless. One which is hoped to return the country's sense of pride as it navigates the road to recovery. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
State governors across northern Nigeria today gave messages of hope and peace to mark the country's 60th independence anniversary. Some states celebrated the occasion with summits and peaceful rallies. The governors of Kaduna and Kogi states commiserated with victims of violence and human disasters in their states.
From across the north, Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary is marked low-key. In Kaduna State, Governor Nasir El-Rufai, while offering his sympathy to all whom have been affected by the security challenges in the state, pardoned 30 prisoners serving various jail terms, while the Kogi State Governor identifies with families of the petrol tanker explosion that claimed 28 lives.
Our national journey has been an uneven ride, with much to admire and plenty to correct. We've had triumphs and tragedies, made some progress and endured reversals.
Even as we mourn those we lost at the Filele, we are working as a government to ensure that the manner of their deaths, which has happened severally in the past, does not repeat itself in the future.
In Gombe State, the governor joins the celebration as he addresses issues of good governance, while thousands of youths in Sokoto State march in a solidarity rally to celebrate Nigeria at 60. The rally terminates at the Sokoto State Government House, where the youth are received by the Secretary to the state government.
Definitely, it's not easy for a country or for any being, for that matter, to live for 60 years. There must have been successes, there must have been failures, and there must have been challenges. But nonetheless, I think it is worth celebrating that we are 60 today.
In Plateau, Nasarawa and Bauchi states, the celebration is marked with a summit centered on peace, development, women and youth empowerment.
Presently, the story of Nigeria may not reflect what our founding fathers had in mind when they fought for independence. But I firmly believe that the present challenges confronting us as a country is a passing phase that is crucial to building a vibrant, peaceful and united country at the long run.
Our expectation is that the summit will chart a path and provide a new leaf in the working relationship between the three arms of government.
Our youth must be rescued from despondency, disillusionment, and, of course, redundancy.
As Nigeria looks forward to another celebration in 2021, many youths in the northern part of the country say they look forward to development that will improve their lives.
In parts well to the break, we'll bring you more on today's celebration of Nigeria's independence in other parts of the country. Stay with us. Welcome back. If it has joined us, you're watching the news at 10, live on Channels Television, coming to you from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Nigeria celebrates 60 years as an independent nation in low-key but amidst colorful display in the nation's capital, Abuja. President Buhari pays tribute to Nigeria's founding fathers as he calls on citizens to unite in tackling the challenges facing the nation. Speakers at the 25th edition of the platform bear their minds of the nation's journey since 1960 as they list ways to maximizing the country's potential. And a group of leading scientists warns that effective coronavirus vaccine will not return life to normal in early 2021. Plus business, sports and later from our studios in London. We're in the southern parts of the country now where there was not much fanfare characterizing Nigeria's Diamond Jubilee celebrations because of the coronavirus pandemic. This next report, however, captures the low-key celebration across the southern states.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced many state governments to make a painful choice to keep things simple on the occasion of the nation's 60th anniversary.
1, 2, excellent!
In Lagos State, southwest Nigeria, the state government has cancelled the parade, which usually would have been done by school children and security agencies because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mr. Governor, Nigeria, your country, is the biggest.
Nevertheless, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is marking the nation's anniversary in a special way, with 60 future leaders at the State House Marina taking out time to educate them on the history of the country.
Nigeria has been like a sine wave. It has ups and downs. You know, when you draw sine waves, it goes up, it down, it bellies up, it goes down. You know, but at the end of the day, we must ask ourselves, do we see a trajectory of growth, you know, going forward? You know, I don't have any other country, so I certainly need to have that belief. And I'm sure it's the same for all of you.
The Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, leads what he says is a walk for freedom, a symbol that the country needs to move forward and build on the positives.
It's not everything that is wrong with Nigeria. We've gotten certain things right, and we should focus on those things that we have gotten right and try to build on it.
Staying in the southwest, in Ogun State, Governor Dapo Abiodun, his wife and members of the State Executive Council are celebrating the 60th anniversary of the country with a parade by members of the armed forces and cutting of the anniversary cake held at the arcade ground of the governor's office. Again, the governor gives reassurances of reforms in strategic areas of the state's economy and to improve ease of doing business for the post-COVID era.
We will take advantage of this diamond anniversary of our great nation, not only to reappraise all our policies and programs in the last 1 year, but also to improve on our approach and strategy towards ensuring the continued delivery of good governance to the people of the state.
In Anambra State, southeast Nigeria, Governor Willie Obiano seems to be on the same page, announcing a low-key celebration, but assuring the people of his administration's commitment to economic growth.
Fellow citizens, we shall not sing with our loudest voices when the world is silent. We cannot roll out the drums for celebration when the world is in deep grief. For COVID-19 has restricted our laughter, but it has not killed our joy.
Staying in the southeast, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma wants Nigerians to put religious and ethnic differences aside and focus on things that will promote unity and peaceful coexistence.
This auspicious occasion of our 60th day independence anniversary therefore calls for our rededication to the lofty idea of nationhood. It enjoins us to do only those things that promote the unity and peaceful coexistence of all Nigerians.
And for Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State in the South-South, there's a need to reflect on the journey so far and think of how to retool the country for growth.
At least, even when the elections are not completely free and fair, it appears that we are learning lessons daily. But the important thing is, we have an opportunity to determine, to some extent, those who should govern us. We expect that it will be better and that the elections will be free and fair.
The governors say they are using the opportunity of the nation's independence to renew hope that the nation's challenges in whatever form will be surmounted, with a reminder that it will take the collective responsibility of all to get through.
The call for restructuring the country has again reverberated as the country marks its 60th independence anniversary today. This time it's coming from the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, who is advocating restructuring, fiscal federalism, resource control, and devolution of powers as promoted by the nation's founding fathers. Governor Wike, who made the call during the low-key Diamond Jubilee celebration in Government House, Port Harcourt, raised concerns over the state of the nation, which he says is treading the path of doomsday. Governor Wike, however, reaffirms his belief in national unity and consistent existence of Nigeria.
We salute the courage, sacrifice, and heroism of our founding fathers that resulted in the birth of this potentially great nation. We shall forever be grateful to them, not only for the platter of independence they delivered to us on a platter, but also for reclaiming and restoring the pride and dignity of our people to self-rule. Our nation can be strong and progressive if we practice true democracy, fraud-proof electoral system, effective and politically neutral law enforcement, deepen the rule of law, and enable the practical independence of our judiciary. Our nation can only be free from the perpetual state of crisis, violence, and threat of disintegration if we exhibit courage, sincerity, and commitment to rational restructuring, effective devolution of powers, resource control, and true federalism as our governance system under a people-prepared and robustly negotiated constitution that secures basic human rights and social justice as the touchstone of our existence, both as a nation and as a people.
Meanwhile, the senior pastor of the Covenant Nation and convener of the platform, Pastor Kmoju Oyemade, is making a passionate appeal to Nigerians to focus on what unites the country and not what divides them as a people. He was speaking at the opening of the 25th edition of the platform, a biannual program to mark the country's 60th independence anniversary in Lagos. The event seeks to bring ideas together for the purpose of nation building.
Happy Independence Day, Nigeria.
Critical issues of corporate governance, how well the country has fared in the past 60 years, were elaborate. The 13th edition of the platform, observed through strict COVID-19 protocol, had a representation of distinguished Nigerians who cut across different sectors. The call from the convener of the event seems apt at a time of perceived division in the country.
All of us are basically, as human beings, have the same aspirations in life. So we shouldn't focus so much on what divides us.
The tempo quickly deepened with issues of financial inclusion, the constitution, credible elections, and the seeming sidelining of the youth from governance.
The society as a whole appears to have been rigged against the youth. When some of us were younger, it wasn't as bad as this. What has happened is that I think the same elites, as they got older, they did not hand over to those younger ones coming after them.
When Obasanjo was handing us a democracy in 1979, he wrote us a constitution because don't forget, the Constitutional Assembly drafted something and it went to the Supreme Military Council and they amended it the way they deemed fit.
Efforts of the government in building the nation has come under intense scrutiny. The government, though, insists its policies are on track.
We set ourselves 9 priority areas: agriculture, security, infrastructure, energy, power, macroeconomic stability, and all of that. So it was what we did collectively together rather than what one minister or one agency did. We also had NPA in that cluster. So, and what we saw was that our programs and our plans were on track.
With the myriads of problems debated, outlined and analysed on a largely virtual forum, the basics for some are still missing until issues of governance, accountability, morality, discipline and togetherness is addressed with the instrumentality of the Constitution. Gimba Umar, Channels Television News.
A former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Muhammadu Sanusi II, is condemning what he describes as selfish interest displayed by the elite and politicians to the detriment of the generality of Nigerians. While making his submissions at the platform today, Mr. Sanusi says actions that work against the collective will of the people must be discontinued and replaced with selflessness.
Lack of focus among the youth.
Former Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, whose views on contemporary issues are well known, is one of the discussants at the platform, and he was his characteristic self. His summary of the political class is quite damning.
When you begin to undermine institutions, I mean, we pay lip service to them, we talk about them, but I mean, look at the state houses of assembly, look at the state commissioners, look at the ministries. It's almost as if everything is there at the service of an individual, and this, I think, is what destroys the civil servants and those who run the institutions do not help themselves.
His submission stirred up more debate, and the 1999 Constitution is once again called to question.
The agitation that's going on right now is that the 1999 Constitution is fake because Nigerians were not consulted and Nigerians were not involved. Well, the 2014 National Conference, as I said earlier on, had over 300 delegates. So it has addressed that issue of consultation.
If you're a custodian, there are two things you must do. You must preserve the quality of what you have received. You must make sure that the quality does not deteriorate. But second, you must develop what you have received, develop in the light of the needs of the present and the future.
We want to touch on a little bit on corruption.
Corruption then sets the discourse deeper, with former EFCC boss Malam Nuhu Ribadu giving his recipe on how to win the war.
Nigeria have done fairly well in adopting most of what the world said is the best way and the best practice to fight corruption. We have, UN conventions, AU protocols, development agencies, advice. We have done most of them, and they are on ground. I think Nigeria, more than any country in Africa, probably even in developing countries, have done far, far ahead of all others.
At times like this, hope is rekindled and expectations heighten. This, perhaps, is the singular yearning of a people who desire an improved country in peace, as calls for a referendum continue on how the entity called Nigeria can continue to thrive as a united and prosperous entity. Gimba Umar, Channels Television News.
Amid the celebrations marking the Independence Day anniversary, a number of protests held in some parts of the country today as the Revolution Now movement conducted some marches to air their views over the perceived failure of the federal government to meet the needs of Nigerians. In some instances, the protests were disrupted by police.
The 60th independence of Nigeria came along with protests in some parts of the Federation.
To everything, goddamn thing that is not working in this country. No! They chop me in the face, the matter don't
In Makurdi, the Benue state capital, members of Revolution Now took to the streets against what they term anti-people policies of the federal government. Meanwhile, Governor Samuel Otom called on leaders to tackle insecurity and corruption.
Policy in Nigeria is beginning to make us have no choice than to come out on the streets and express our grievances to the government by conducting a peaceful protest today. Since we have nothing to celebrate, we have tagged today the Festival of the Oppressed.
The problem is with us, the actors. We are not sincere. Talk about security, talk about corruption, talk about anything in this country. We are too selfish,
and we must allow room for the rule of law to prevail in this country.
In Abuja, the protests occurred at the U.S. Embassy, with some Bring Back Our Girl activists joining. They lament what they describe as inadequate leadership.
We are driving the Revolution Now movement to ensure that people are sufficiently mobilized, conscientized, educated to understand that we can turn Nigeria around and make Nigeria work for all.
The King Square area of Benin City in Edo State was also a scene for protests. They say government policies are not beneficial to Nigerians. Meanwhile, the police disrupted a peaceful protest in Yola in Adamawa State, and they give their reasons.
These are very negligent individuals who wanted to take advantage of celebration to cause disturbance. And immediately we got in there, he ran away.
Osun State also witnessed a peaceful protest. While in Lagos, a photojournalist was brutalized while covering another protest by the Revolution Now group in the Maryland area of the city.
We have these images showing activities at the popular Eke-Awka market in Awka, the Anambra State capital, despite the alleged sit-at-home directive by the indigenous people of Biafra. IPOB, human and vehicular movements, as well as business activities went on without any hitch. The IPOB call on people to boycott any activity connected to Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary was also ignored in Enugu State as residents went about their normal activities. The Enugu Police Command had advised citizens to disregard the order and engage in only lawful activities for the peace and security of the state. Residents described the sit-at-home order supposedly issued by IPOB's purported leader, Nnamdi Kanu, as baseless and unrealistic. Staying with the 60th independence anniversary, the Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, has been speaking on what the nation has to gain if it has a viable and functional railway system. According to him, an effective railway system will aid the transportation of goods and services across the country. The Works and Housing Minister, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, also says building an enduring infrastructure is key to national development.
What the federal government is doing is to provide this transportation so that you can reduce, if possible, the cost of transportation, which is given to the manufacture of goods from 46% to 5%. And that's why there is this emphasis on railway, because it's the easiest, quickest, and cheapest form of transportation of cargoes.
What this government is dealing with, and which I am responsible for the roadside, is infrastructure that will be enduring. Without the rail, we will not have roads that last, because trucks, heavy cargo is normally not meant for the roads, normally. So the jurisdictions we want to be like don't transport fuel, they don't transport heavy cargo, they don't transport containers on their roads. So as I say, this is why I am so optimistic about tomorrow.
I'm going to toss it over now to Bisi Adebayo, who has more on President Buhari explaining the rationale behind the increase in price of petrol.
Welcome to Business News. President Muhammadu Buhari is asking Nigerians to come to terms with the reality of petrol subsidies removal on premium motor spirits, attempting to justify the decision in his Independence Day speech earlier today. The president compares prices across other climes and concludes that Nigeria cannot afford to have lower EPMS price than Saudi Arabia.
Petroleum prices in Nigeria are to be adjusted. We sell now at 161 naira per litre. A comparison with our neighbors will illustrate the point. A. Chad, which is an oil-producing country, charges 362 naira per liter. B. Niger, also an oil-producing country, sells 1 liter at 346 naira. C. Ghana, another oil-producing country, petroleum pump price is 326 naira per liter. Further afield, Egypt charges 211 naira per liter. Saudi Arabia charges 168 naira per liter. It makes no sense for oil to be cheaper in Nigeria than in Saudi Arabia.
President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. And the Nigeria Stock Exchange is set to host industry leaders at a financial services webinar on October the 8th. The event, which is tagged the Future Financial Services Industry Post-COVID-19, is expected to bring together market leaders to discuss the future of Nigeria's financial market and provide solutions on how to manage the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy. Key speakers expected at the webinar include the Governor of the Central Bank, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Mr. Issa Yuguda, as well as other market stakeholders across the public and private sectors. The participants are also expected to discuss emerging financial stability risks, the evolving public policy response, and long-term challenges for the financial system. Nigeria's Treasury bills market is expected to record increased trading activities in Friday's session. Analysts say this is anticipated as they expect investors to reinvest maturing T-bills worth 133.97 billion naira in order to cover bids lost from the previous primary market auction. The Central Bank on Wednesday offered Treasury bills worth 113.97 billion naira across the 91-day instrument and 10 billion naira for the 182-day papers. And that's it on business news. It's back to Amarachi.
Thanks, Bissy. A group of leading scientists in the UK is warning that while the world looks forward to having the coronavirus vaccine, it will not return life to normal in early next year. There are currently more than 200 vaccines being developed by scientists around the world in a process that is taking place at unprecedented speed. But the scientists say the world needs to be realistic about what a vaccine could achieve and when. But there is optimism. Some people may get a vaccine this year, and mass vaccines may start early next year. Here's Simon Pusey with more international news in Around the World in 5.
Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The commission that oversees US presidential debates has said it will change the format to ensure the 2 remaining encounters between Donald Trump and Joe Biden are more orderly.
The radical left, will you shut up, man?
It comes after the first presidential debate descended into squabbling, bickering and insults and received criticism across the US and around the world. One new measure could be to cut the microphones if the candidates try to interrupt each other. That's according to US media. President Trump's team has already criticized the commission's plans. The EU has begun legal proceedings against the UK after it refused to ditch plans to override sections of its Brexit divorce deal.
We had invited our British friends.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said the draft bill was a breach of obligation of good faith established in the withdrawal agreement and would contradict the Protocol of Ireland and Northern Ireland. Such infringements could lead to heavy fines being imposed by the EU's top court, but that could take years, leaving plenty of time for the UK to change tack.
The deadline lapsed yesterday. The problematic provisions have not been removed. Therefore, this morning, the Commission has decided to send a letter of formal notice to the UK government. This is the first step in an infringement procedure.
The death of a second Dalit woman in a few days after an alleged gang rape has shocked and angered India. The 22-year-old was dragged into a vehicle after going to apply for admission at a local school and raped. That's according to her mother. The news follows the death of another lower caste woman on Tuesday after an alleged gang rape by upper caste men. Dalits are at the bottom of the caste system. Despite laws to protect them, they face widespread discrimination.
No, this is not right. What is happening is absolutely criminalization of everything.
Leading Russian opposition activist Alexei Navalny has said he believes President Vladimir Putin was responsible for his poisoning. Germany, where Navalny is recovering, has said he was poisoned by a Novichok nerve agent. Its findings have been confirmed by labs in France and Sweden. The Kremlin has denied any involvement. Navalny collapsed on a flight in Russia's Siberian region on the 20th of August. He was transferred to the charity hospital in the German capital Berlin 2 days later. The World Health Organization's regional director for Africa has condemned allegations that aid workers sexually abused women while tackling an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Matshidiso Moeti tweeted, "The allegations of sexual exploitation and abuse by aid workers in DRC and Ebola response are heartbreaking. I will do all in my power to ensure a timely, fair and transparent investigation. Anyone identified as being involved will face serious consequences." It comes after the World Health Organization and other aid agencies were accused by 50 women in a joint investigation by 2 news agencies. The Queen of England, Elizabeth, has sent a letter of facilitation to President Muhammadu Buhari on the occasion of Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary. The UK's ambassador to Nigeria has joined the Queen in her congratulations, tweeting, "Delighted and proud to join Her Majesty the Queen and offer my personal congratulations to all Nigerians as we celebrate Nigeria's 60th anniversary of independence." Hong Kong's chief executive has described foreign sanctions imposed against Hong Kong as brutal while defending the need to continue implementing a contentious national security law in the city. Carrie Lam spoke at a reception that followed a morning flag-raising ceremony marking the 71st anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. The ceremony in Hong Kong came as anti-government protests have diminished due to coronavirus restrictions on group gatherings and fears over a sweeping national security law imposed by Beijing on the 30th of June. Meanwhile, China is celebrating the country's National Day and the start of the Mid-Autumn Festival, with authorities predicting a huge jump in tourism. The Mid-Autumn Festival falls on the 15th day of the 8th month of the Chinese lunar calendar. This video shows villagers airing out chilies, corn and other crops, forming various characters and pictures. Meanwhile, in Shangqi City, a dashua performance was held where molten iron is thrown against a cold wall to create firework-like sparks, a 500-year-old tradition which arose from the region's history of iron production. And finally, dubbed the French Spider-Man, Alain Robert has scaled a skyscraper in the German city of Frankfurt without a harness and wearing cowboy boots. Dressed in a silver-coloured suit, Spider-Man climbed up the 32-storey building with ease and briefly waved to bystanders below once he'd reached the rooftop. A normally busy intersection was closed to traffic as firefighters with a ladder and an ambulance were standing by. The 58-year-old has climbed more than 100 structures, including the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco and the Burj Al Khalifa in Dubai. And that's your international news around the world in 5. And now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.
Thanks, Simon. Sports News is next. Here's Olumide Macaulay.
Thank you, Amarachi. Hello and welcome to Sports News. We begin with football. Holders Bayern Munich have drawn Atletico Madrid in Group A of the 2020-2021 UEFA Champions League. Spanish champions Real Madrid are paired in Group B with Inter Milan. Manchester City are in Group D with FC Porto, Olympiacos and Olympique Marseille. Premier League champions Liverpool will have to negotiate a group containing Ajax, Amsterdam, Atalanta and Midtjylland. Chelsea will play Europa League winners Sevilla, Krasnodar and debutants Stade Rennes. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo set to face off after Barcelona meet Juventus in Group G, while Manchester United play PSG and RB Leipzig in Group H. The group stage begins on Tuesday, October the 20th. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich forward Robert Lewandowski has been named UEFA Men's Player of the Year following a superb season in which he won the Champions League, the German Bundesliga, and the German Cup. Lewandowski beats off competition from Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne and Bayern Munich teammate Manuel Neuer. The Poland striker scored in every game en route to the UEFA Champions League final in Lisbon, picking up 15 goals and 6 assists. Arsenal are through to the quarterfinals of the English Football League Cup after defeating Liverpool 5-4 on penalties at Anfield. Brentford reached the quarterfinals for the first time with a surprise 3-0 win over West London rivals Fulham. Veteran striker Sam Vokes scored the only goal in the first half as Championship side Stoke City sent packing last season finalist Aston Villa. And that's it on Sports News. Amarachi, back to you.
Thanks, Olumide. Finally tonight, Instagram user Opus James has emerged winner of the hashtag Channels TV Independence Dance Challenge and hashtag JoJo Dance Challenge, carting away a whopping 500,000 naira. Other winners in the dance challenge, judged by award-winning singer Dare and Guinness World Record dancer Kafi, include dance duo Dance Factor and 8-year-old Lucretia in second place, and the Orphaned Dance Acting and Music Academy Dreamcatchers taking home the sum of 200,000 naira in third place.
Wait, do you think you have better moves than me?
In celebration of Nigeria's 60th independence anniversary, Channels Television hosted a digital dance challenge to Dare's new dance track, JoJo, and did receive very impressive entries. There were groups, solo performances, and we also saw a break dance. Eventually, winners emerged as adjudged by the challenge judges Dare and Kafi, with Dare being unavoidably absent. The 20-time Guinness World Record holder for the longest dance set did the honors.
In third place, we have Dreamcatchers Dance Academy in third place.
In third place is the famed orphanage dance, acting and music academy Dreamcatchers, taking home the sum of 200,000 naira. The duo Dance Factor will share the spoils for second place with 8-year-old Lucretia. And the top prize of 500,000 naira goes to Opus James for his energetic entry and impressive dance vocabulary.
One thing's for sure, those guys dance way better than me. Thanks for watching. And the main news again, Nigeria today celebrated 60 years as an independent nation, and low-key but amidst colorful display in the nation's capital, Abuja. Also today, President Buhari paid tribute to Nigeria's founding fathers as he called on citizens to unite in tackling the challenges facing the nation. And a group of leading scientists today warned that an effective coronavirus vaccine will not return life to normal in early 2021. That's News at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Amarachi Ubani. Once again, happy Independence Day, Nigeria.